Hi, welcome to Culture Shard. So the last couple of weeks I've learned something really interesting about the authenticity of core values, or at least this has been highlighted to me, that when values are chosen authentically, when they are authentic to the organization, they're so easy for employees to wear. It's so easy for them to embrace them and to sort of attach their own emotional hooks to the fabric of those values. But it's almost crazy to think that we don't get this right more often than we do. So here's what's been going on. The last couple of weeks I've been traveling around South Africa, and I will be for the next few weeks as well, to the various branches, 27 odd branches of a company that I've been working with for the last 18 months. And one of the things that we've done over that 18 months is we've discovered core values. We've got to the point where this organization has grown and grown and grown, and now it's kind of gone, we need to try and identify this a little bit more closely. We need to have a stronger narrative to tell our people. And so the process was one that I've done for many other organizations, where we've sort of unpacked what it is. We've done some research, we've done some surveys, etc., to get to this sort of the nub, the core of what it is that the organization believes in, the underpinnings of the corporate philosophy, the company philosophy. And then we put those together into words and packaged them and gone out and started selling them to the organization, such as it is. And whenever I get to sort of the point where we start to select these things, we're starting to kind of wordsmith pithy phrases to put on the walls and put on, around the organization. I always go into that sort of deep sort of journalism background that I've got, where I'm probing all the time. I'm saying to them, you say this, but prove it to me, because I can't just believe that you roll up your sleeves as an organization, or that you can count on one another. And when we're talking about teamwork, we're talking about accountability, we have wonderful values like we care. That's about quality and about concern. Most organizations will say those sorts of things, but I want to know that they're real. So tell me the stories. And the weird thing was, it was such a great experience. The stories just flowed. This organization has no shortage of stories to back up its values. So much so that I believe these are the most authentic things that it can say about itself. I mean, they really hit the nail on the head. So when we packaged all of this, and I was very, very confident that we had this, we'd understood what the organization already believes in. We'd understood what defines the organization when it's at its best, when it's doing really well. The job then is to take it out into the branches around the country and present it and see what they think. And the thing that's been so great to me is one after another. I think we've done this 7 or 8 times now already. The stories just flow. When I break up the groups up afterwards, after we presented the values and we've said, look, this is what they are, this is how we see them working. What do you think? Tell us stories. Give us stories back about how you see those values actually working inside your organization. I mean, the noise level goes up as everybody's discussing this. We break them up into groups, give them each one of the values to work on. And then when they start feeding back, and the thing that's so interesting is it's not just that they're full of great stories about how the organization cares about its employees, or about how they can count on one another as employees, or about how they all get stuck in and roll up their sleeves, or about any of those things. It's not just that they've got lots of stories. It's that very often the stories are very similar. Even though we might be in Durban or Cape Town or Johannesburg or wherever else we are, this week it'll be Bloemfontein and East London and Port Elizabeth, and even though that they're from different parts of the country and they're operating kind of in their own little worlds, their own little ecosystems, if you like, the stories are exactly the same. These are ones that the organization absolutely believes in, these values. They are ones that describe it when it's already at its very best. And it's so amazing when you get there, when you get to the point that you've managed to articulate what the organization believes in such a pure and authentic way. It kind of ridicules all of those words on the wall that are just commanding phrases, integrity and these sorts of things that kind of demand something of you but don't explain why. I think it would be interesting if you have values like that, or any values at all, if you've actually codified them, to be able to take the opportunity to put them down in front of people and say, tell us why that's true. Tell us why we believe that. Give us your view on that. What are some of the stories that back it up, that tell us that this is an authentic value? Because if you're not getting them, maybe it isn't one. I'm absolutely so convinced. I'm having such fun with this organization now, sort of unrolling these values and just hearing these great stories come out. I know that these will be successful. I know these are ones that the company will be able to rally behind, because they already are. It's magic. That's the whole point, I think. That's my thought for this week. I hope you have a great week.